our kids can't read. We didn't need a drag queen to come lead Storytime. We needed a phonics and literacy coach to come lead Storytime.
We break it down, no script, no mold. Raw and uncut, every gem is gold. Locked in now, let the facts unfold. Q bringing heat on Truth Be Told.
Yo, what's going on, squad? Welcome back to the Truth Be Told podcast. I am your host, Q, and chat. Listen, Chicago is in an uproar. And this is all based on the fact that the Chicago Public Library System has agreed to have drag queens read story time to children. And as you can already expect, there's been a lot of backlash regarding this. Watch this.
The library told a local news site that there wasn't any sexualized content planned for this drag story time, but critics say the fact that a man dressed as a woman was the special guest performer at an event for babies is completely inappropriate. Protesters showed up outside of the branch of the library on the south side, the Beverly branch, Tuesday, after the library refused to cancel the event. And things got heated with some of the LGBTQ advocates who came to support the story time with drag queens. But protest organizers say this kind of event isn't what their community wants or needs.
And our kids can't read. We didn't need a drag queen to come lead Storytime. We needed a phonics and literacy coach to come lead Storytime.
A library official told the local news site Block Hub Chicago the drag Storytime for babies was a family-oriented event to promote early literacy, belonging, and self-expression through age-appropriate books and songs. This was just the first of many Pride Month events Chicago Public Libraries has planned, including intergenerational queer art making, events with identity-affirming stations for kids as young as 6, and a story time for kids with the controversial group Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence that features queer and trans men dressed as nuns and that critics say mocks sacred Catholic and Christian beliefs. The Chicago Public Library hasn't responded to our multiple requests for comment on its Pride Month events, particularly those targeting babies, infants, and young kids.
Okay, so let me start off by saying this. This is definitely not a slight to the LGBTQ plus community. What this is that there seems to be a level of confusion with the terms responsibility and inclusion. And what I mean when I say that is that the drag community is an adult entertainment community. It always has been adult entertainment. Now we're taking adult entertainment and we're meshing it with the literacy and phonics and learning of our children. That's where it's becoming a problem. It's becoming a problem in the responsibility department. We're not being responsible because we're taking an adult entertainment theme and introducing part of that adult entertainment theme to children. And we're trying to validate that particular space by calling it inclusion. I'm not sure if that's the safest thing to do because children between the age of birth and 6 or 7 years old is when they have the most rapid increase in brain development. Between the ages of 5 and 6 is when they're on par with their autobiographical memory. Notice that these particular story times are being held in libraries reading to children from the ages of 3 to 10, which means that 5 to 6 to 7 year old space is right in the middle of that. This is what they mean when they start saying indoctrination. This is a little unfair because again, it's adult entertainment being introduced or part of it being introduced to kids. Now my question is, why wouldn't you just have a woman reading to the children? Why does it have to be a drag queen? Because again, the other word that we've been using to validate this is promote. When it comes to reading to kids, it should only be reading to kids. We should not be promoting anything else in addition to reading to kids. When you start saying we want to promote the inclusion of the drag community, that means reading to kids becomes secondary. The promotion of the drag becomes primary. This is where we're getting lost. It's the level of responsibility. Again, it's not to slight the LGBTQ plus community at all. We just have to have a level of responsibility for our kids. Now, I originally thought that this had just started, but in further research, I found out that this actually started 6 or 7 years ago. Watch this.
This is Drag Queen Story Hour. It's your classic children's reading program with a twist. The day's literary leader is a larger-than-life drag queen.
Everybody wave to each other, make a friend next to you, okay?
Its goal, to inspire a love of reading while teaching deeper lessons on diversity, self-love, and appreciation of others.
Everyone is different and everyone is not bad, said Scooter, who is a turtle. Different is special.
I just love drag queens in general. It's a great opportunity to combine having a little one and enjoying like the performance of drag.
I think it's important that we see different people. That mom and dad look different from other people, and lots of people love you and have stories for you, and we can learn from everybody.
Jonna Purcell is a children's librarian with DC Public Library.
It's just really been obvious that there was a need for this in our community.
The library partnered with the DC chapter of Drag Queen Story Hour to bring the family-friendly events to the nation's capital.
We talk a lot in children's literature about stories being both windows and mirrors. So Drag Queen Story Hour can be doing both. There may be a kid here who is seeing themselves reflected in a queen and seeing a possibility for what their lives could be. And then if not, there's a child that's seeing how someone else lives.
Okay. Let me start off by saying that there's not a child in that room, in my personal opinion, that is seeing themselves reflective of that drag queen. That becomes an excuse to further promote whatever agenda that is being presented. The second thing is that she stated that this is what the community needed. Let's not do that. The community did not need a drag queen to read to the children. That wasn't in the needs of any community. My question is, you could have gotten a handicapped person with the ability to read to the children to do so, because one, that would have shown the difference in our kids' upbringing. That would have shown a clear difference in the difference of people. What's happening is that we're trying to normalize the drag community. We're trying to normalize it because it's not normal. If you look at this particular picture, even if this was a woman, I would not have my child sitting in front of this person dressed the way that they are in a corset and pantyhose, reading to them. This is highly inappropriate. So again, we are not being responsible. I'm not trying to be dismissive. I'm just trying to demonstrate that we should be more responsible when it comes to our children. Drag queens are an adult thing. What we're watching is equivalent to having Chippendales performers come and read to our children. We're not doing that because Chippendales are an adult thing. But guess what? If we introduce them to the children, the community is in an uproar. The community is fine if we leave these spaces or this entertainment for those adult spaces. So I'm going to try to make this a poll. I just want to get a chance to see what you guys think and get your feedback on it, because this is one of those things where it's a touchy subject and it has to be dealt with delicately without offending an entire community. And until next time, thank you guys for showing up at the Truth Be Told podcast. I'm your host, Q, and I'm out.